Welcome to Launch the Jesus Initiative. I'm your host, T. Latoya Cunningham, and today I'm super excited to have this dynamic duo from Burlington, New Jersey. This is Thomas and Dream, his daughter Freeman from Burlington, New Jersey. Welcome to Launch the Jesus Initiative.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, and how old is your beautiful daughter?
She's 7 years old.
And Dream, what grade would that make you in?
Second grade.
You're in second grade? Okay, that's awesome. So the reason I had these guys on the show because I wanted to spotlight someone that is doing a tremendous job. During this pandemic, we have so many horrible stories about things going on, but I wanted to, a story about something really positive and spotlighting, books and authors. And the two of these guys wrote a book. What is the name of your book?
10 Black Heroes All Kids Should Know.
Okay, hold it up a little bit higher. Excellent. 10 Black heroes that all kids should know. Now, I want to ask you, do you have a passion for literacy, like reading?
Yes, I'm an author and a screenwriter. And so I've had a passion for reading starting and then developed into writing for, most of my life now.
Okay, so you're an author. And how long have you been writing? You said most of your life. Like, did you start off maybe like, sometimes in school we start off with poetry. How did that passion get ignited in you?
It got ignited from a librarian. I actually didn't like to read. And I had a librarian and she told me, she said, if you don't like to read, tell me what you do like. And I said, I like basketball and I like New York City. And this is the card catalog days. So she took me to the card catalog and cross-referenced sports with New York. And she said, now you're going to read things that you do like. And that just changed everything for me.
And I think that was, really important to have someone to jumpstart that and ignite that passion in you. Who are some of your favorite authors?
Some of my favorite authors, let's see. In the fiction world, there's Kwame Tiago. I read a lot of history, so Ivan Van Sertima, Ivan Van Sertima, and yeah, those I would say that's my favorite fiction and my favorite nonfiction authors.
Okay, because I know, like as a young girl coming up, one of my favorite authors is she wrote predominantly for women, and she actually was from New Jersey too. Her name was Judy Blume, and that started my passion for reading, as well as I'm a big fan of Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni.
Oh yeah, definitely Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes. Oh my God, he was awesome. He was part of the for all you who are not familiar with his literature, he was part of the Harlem Renaissance movement.
Right.
And he was instrumental in getting Black people worldwide, recognition, because we didn't get a lot at that time. And that's why I think literacy is so important. And when you pour it into young people, like the librarian poured into you, it gives us the opportunity to write what we see. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that there is an art form even to poetry. And that's really what rap music is about. Because when I grew up, rap music was more about poetry. Amen.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you, so when you began this journey writing this book with your daughter, what was the first initial thing that inspired you to write? Was it a lack of information in our current school systems? What was it?
Yeah, and the funny thing is it actually started probably 10 years ago, before she was born, and she has two older sisters. So it's an idea I started with my oldest two daughters, and we never finished it. And during the pandemic, I was working on my own writings, and I'm a spiritual person, so a lady was praying for me, and I was like, she was like, what do you want to pray for? I said, I want to pray for an advance in my career. And she said, well, God wants you to finish what you started before you advance. So I start looking back at some of the projects that I started that didn't finish, and this was one of them. So My other daughters are in college now, so I went and got my youngest daughter, and I allowed her to pick some of the characters, and we kept some of the ones that we originally picked. But to get back to your question, it was the lack of information. So I said these are heroes that and originally it was 10 heroes all Black kids should know, and then we said no, these are Black heroes, but all kids should know them.
Absolutely.
So then we changed the title to 10 Black heroes all kids should know. We just wanted to highlight some of the people that go beyond what they learn on Black History Month, which is usually the same, great people, but they hear about the same people over and over. So we just wanted to bring something new, and part of that was bringing some of the kings and queens from Africa that we descend from, to let kids know that we came from not just slavery, but from from great nations, great empires.
Greatness, absolutely.
Right.
And I think that it's important what you're saying here, that usually it's just the same people, and their contribution was substantial to the movement, especially the civil rights movement. But there are so many more people that we could spotlight. And so your selection, how did you base your selection? Was it just ideas from your all three of your daughters? You said you have two older daughters, correct?
Right. I allowed them to pick some, and then some that I had ran across. Like I said, I've read so many historical books that I wanted to, I ran across some queens, a powerful queen from the kingdom of Kush, for example. And I was like, how has this never been told? She defeated you hear about the Roman Empire. She defeated the Roman Empire, and I've never heard of her. So I'm like, so we tried to balance it, half male, half female, and I allowed them to pick some. And then I created almost like a database with short bios, and I let them go through and read and say, who they wanted, and also to go do their own research and pick some. So that's how Madam C.J. Walker was somebody that Dream picked, and she's a little more known than the rest of them, but it was her pick, so I allowed, we let her have that. So yeah.
And that's powerful what you said about the queen that defeated the Romans. What most people don't understand, you said you were a spiritual person, that Cush was in the Bible.
Right. Definitely.
A lot of people don't know that, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of Launch to Jesus Initiative. Welcome back to Launch the Jesus Initiative. I have Thomas and Dream Freeman from Burlington, New Jersey here, and we're talking about their book, some people that all children should know, that are people with great influence from African American descent. Now, before the break, we were talking about Cush and the queen that defeated the Roman Empire. Now, who are some that did not actually make it to the book that you would have wanted in there, because you had so much time to put everything in there?
Right. There was I'm big on Egyptian studies as well. So there was Tara Hekin was a pharaoh, but he also was a warrior. And I like to study, one of the things I like to study was the crossover between the Bible and ancient history. So Tara Hekin was one of the people that helped the Hebrews in a battle that they were having before he became Pharaoh. Will Smith actually was going to do a movie about him. I don't know why it never came to fruition, but he was one of the people that I felt like, was big. There were some people in American history, what was her name? She wanted to do Harriet Tubman, and we considered Nat Turner.
I love Nat Turner.
Yeah, we consider some of the people from Dred Scott.
Yes.
So these are all people that, like, growing up, that I learned about, that I wanted to share with my children, and we considered them. But ultimately, we tried to give the book an international feel, because I'm big on Pan-Africanism. So I wanted it to be for Black people worldwide, whether you're in Brazil, America, Africa, Haiti, or anywhere. So we tried to like kind of spread it out. But yeah, there was a lot of people from, just African Americans that we wanted to, and maybe we'll do a volume 2 or, continue the series. And add
That's a
some
great
more names.
idea because there are a lot of influential people um, that we don't know about, and and we have to be honest too that the teachers only have so much time to teach all of this,
Right, right,
and some of these things we have to take it upon ourselves to go out and study ourselves. And the Bible talks about study and show ourselves approved, so some of
right,
these things we're going to have to look into ourselves. And as parents, because I'm a parent myself of a young Black man, I think it's very important to have positive role models and figures to see us in a positive light.
right.
And you know, I'm going to venture out here to say this. Some people may not like it, but I'm just going to say it. Like when I was growing up, Bill Cosby and the Cosby family was on television, and that was a very educated family, a doctor and a lawyer combination, and it showed us in a positive life. And I don't think that we see enough of that currently in the media and on television. And we are more than just slavery, you
Right,
know. We
right,
have tremendous contributions all over the world. So one of the things I like about what you're saying about your book is that it touches on greatness, people of color from all over the world globally. So it's something that everybody could relate to from different nations of the world. So that's really impactful there.
right.
I want to ask you this question also. Now, when you was choosing the book, was it a certain cover? Who designed the cover? Was your children part of that selection when it comes to, is there illustrations in there? How does that happen?
Yes, we had a great illustrator named Justin Green, who we actually found on the same page where you saw the book. So we just put up a post and said we're looking for an illustrator. We kind of went through Google searches and got the best images we could of these people or recreations of images. We sent them to him, and my wife Sherelle came up with the actual, design format of how she wanted it to look. And she sent the ideas to Justin, and he did a fantastic job on, the cover and the illustrations.
So it was a family affair.
Family affair, definitely,
Yes,
definitely a
it's a
family
family affair. That was my
affair.
song. It's a family affair. Awesome. Now, Dream, I want to ask you a question. Um, do you love to read yourself?
Yeah.
You do? Do you have a favorite book or you just like reading?
What's your
I
favorite book?
like reading.
What's the
You
books
just
that
like
you read?
reading? That's awesome. So were you excited to be able to do this book with your dad?
Yes.
Yes. What were some of the things that you wanted in the book? Was it some things like maybe you were at school and you didn't know about these people? Is that some of the reasons why you wanted to write the book?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well,
She's
she's
not
a bit
much of a
shy.
talker.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
a
I'm
little
gonna tell
shy.
you this. I'm gonna speak this over your life. You're writing now. God's gonna have some big things. So this is your first interview, Dream. So you better get used to it, young lady. She is so cute, and of course
Thank
she's
you.
shy. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more question before I get back to Daddy. So, with you picking people that's in the book, do you have a favorite person in the book?
Yes.
Who's your favorite?
Madam CJ Walker.
Madam C.J. Walker, and why is she your favorite?
She made hair products.
Because she what?
She made hair products.
And I'm a product of that right now. That's true. She did. And do you know that she was the first Black woman that was a millionaire? And did you have the opportunity, Dream? Were you able to see the movie about her? I mean, I guess it was kind of age appropriate. You
Yeah,
was able to see.
I said I would sit down with her. We watched it, but she didn't get a chance to watch it yet. But we definitely that's something that we also think like a cartoon series to make it relatable to children and kind of show this. So we have some big plans that hopefully we can bring to fruition in the future.
God gonna do it. You just believe him for it. He'll do it. Trust me. He will do it. And you know what's exciting? I'm showing my age here. I'll be 50 in July. But when I was coming up, when it comes to people that were in cartoons that were black. MC Hammer was huge.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he was one of the people that, like, well, first the Jackson Fives was one of the first people I
Right.
believe, I'm not don't quote me here, but that would had their own animated series, you know.
Right.
And then speaking of Bill Cosby again, you cannot forget Fat Albert. You
Fat
can't.
Albert, definitely.
You know,
Classic,
that was
yeah.
really big then too. And then I
Definitely.
remember those are the only two that I really remember besides MC Hammer. So
Right.
it's an easy transition, and it could be seamlessly, don't you think, from writing books about prolific black people in history and getting that from pen to screen. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think the writing process would definitely be a smooth transition. I've been writing more like screenplays. I started out writing books, but I ventured off into screenplays, so that transition will be smooth. It's more the hurdle, I guess. The obstacle is just the animation part,
Yes.
or getting to people that believe in the story, and then telling it in a unique way that makes kids interested.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break with Launch Strategies Initiative, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Launch Jesus Initiative. And before the commercial break, we were talking to Thomas and Dream Freeman. Now we added Mom, which is an important ingredient. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Mother's Day. And now we have the Dream Team. Amen? Yes, we have the Dream Team. And Mom, I want to get you, I asked you to come on. You wasn't originally supposed to be in it, but I think it's important because you were one of the people your husband mentioned that was really important in selecting the book cover. What did you want to convey when people looked at the book? Because we know image is everything. So what was one of the things that you wanted when people seen this book that would spark an interest?
Well, I wanted it to be a picture of Dream, kind of just out in the open, just really getting creative, reading, learning. So when Justin came up with the covers, it was kind of like her, just kind of like she does out back. She gets in the grass, just reads a book, puts her hand like this, and like a bubble of all the characters, of her just thinking about it, learning. So I wanted it to really reflect what she does. So, and he did an awesome job. Amazing. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
And I know you're super proud of your family.
I am. Yes, I am.
So are you big with literacy as well? Because it really takes a village to do this now.
Yes.
Parenting.
Yes, absolutely. My husband is more of the writer and the books and things like that, but I help with the visual part of it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really important because when you write, you need to be able to have people who see your vision.
Yes.
And and the Bible talks about the two will become one, bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh.
Yes.
So he has a certain piece, you have a certain piece as a helpmate.
Yes.
And you're able to let that manifestation of what's birthed in your spirit, be displayed through your work. So that's very powerful. That's awesome.
Yes.
Now, was there any particular person you really liked that was in the book that was depicted?
So I like Queen Nanny. Yeah, I believe that's her name, right? Queen Nanny. Yeah, I like her because she was more of a warrior. We actually went to go visit what was the name of the place in Jamaica? I can't remember the name.
More too.
Yeah, so we actually
Danny Town. So there's a place in Jamaica that is she basically, when the colonizers came and brought slaves there, these slaves revolted, and they were called the Maroons. They like went into the mountains in Jamaica, and they fought off the British. So they kind of were technically never enslaved fully. You know, they were brought from Africa, but they never were fully enslaved. So their area is still in Jamaica. So we took a trip there. So that was one of the people that she was impressed by.
Yeah.
Because they were led by a woman, and they called her the nanny. So she's actually on the Jamaican dollar bill as well.
Wow, is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And so
she's my favorite.
She's your favorite, and I can see definitely why you took an interest in her, because like I said, you know, we don't have a lot of information unless we go out and search it ourselves.
Exactly.
People of color all around the world that have made great contributions. And I think that also what's really exciting about that is that you guys are able to go there now.
Yes.
See, you know, the contributions and some of the things they did. Now, also, who are some of the people that are in there that we may know?
Other than
Madam C.J.
Walker,
probably
maybe Elizabeth Freeman. She's we kind of picked her because of the last name.
Yeah.
Of course, she's a Freeman, but she overheard. She was a slave, and she learned to read and write, and she overheard her master, who was a lawyer, talking about some laws that were changing. She was able to go research it and gain her freedom.
Wow.
Yes.
And you know, the master, they tried to hire her back because they hated her, and they tried to hire her back as a paid, you know, servant, but she turned it down. And so it's just she's the one that people might know. Or another person that people might know the story is Mansa Musa. He became kind of popular recently because Time magazine did a big article on the richest man ever. His uncle is actually we did something on his uncle, because Mansa Musa, we feel like I mean, he was the richest man.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that he was granted his riches by his uncle, who was a scholar that believed if you could cross a river, you could cross an ocean. So he was one of the first people to come from Africa to what we call America 150 years before Christopher Columbus.
Yep.
And and that's important, that historical factor to it. That's very important. And I know exactly who you're talking about. I do. I actually happen to know who you're talking about.
Okay, so yeah.
And so that's really wonderful that you was able to put that in there, because I don't think that we often see ourselves depicted as kings and queens.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't. And I think that some of the things that we often think about when we talk about our Blackness is slavery. Right. And one of my favorite heroes for book number 2 is Haile Selassie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He was an emperor. And if you research him, that is the only Black man that Queen Elizabeth, the sitting monarch, now bowed to. And there are pictures of her bowing to Haile Selassie.
Wow.
There are pictures of him on our soil with JFK. And he has a grandson that lives in Washington, D.C., recently got married, and he met his wife in a nightclub in D.C., and she did not know that she was marrying a prince until later on. Wow. So there's a lot of interesting stories, but
America.
That's real coming to America, but yes, and that Haile Selassie's grandson, and he's very well educated. I want to say that he is an attorney. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I can definitely tell you, I want to say about 3-4 years ago, he met her, maybe even longer, met her in a nightclub in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. And he married her. And if you research and see the pictures, you will see the grandeur of how he married her. And it truly was like a coming to America wedding.
Wow.
So it is like so many people that's here that are little nuggets hidden, you know, that we don't know about. So it's really important for us to do that, you know, to research things and to be, really purposeful about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that that's really wonderful that you and your family have taken this journey to discover our greatness. And I thank you for that,
Yes.
because a lot of people don't take that on.
Yes.
I want to get to you, Thomas, about your screenplays. Tell us a little bit more about that. Have you had something that's already developed? Am I on the brink of the biggest interview of my life? You're gonna be like, what's going down over there? You know what I mean? Should I take a ride out to Burlington from Maryland and get the autograph now? What should I do? Like, what's going on?
Yes,
over
we're
there?
speaking all that.
Well, I started out doing documentaries, and I did a couple documentaries. Two of them were on Amazon Prime. One of them is about hip hop in New Jersey. It's called Can't Forget New Jersey. And it has Redman, Naughty by Nature, all the legends from New Jersey.
Yes.
And then I co-wrote a show called Chase Street. It's also on Amazon Prime, starring Clifton Powell and Terrell Hicks, who played Keisha and Belly, and she played in Bronx Tale. And so now I've been getting. It's funny because I read so much history, and I've never really wrote in that vein until this book was Dream. So now I'm doing, like, I want to do something more along those lines. But yeah, I've just been out here working, and I wrote a script called Black Ice about the original hockey players being Black before the NHL. And it's been optioned. So, hopefully say a prayer for me. Hopefully
I sure will.
it'll get made in the next year or two.
Okay, well, I will definitely stay connected. And I thank you guys for coming on to launch the Jesus Initiative. We have the original Dream Team here.
Yeah.
We have Thomas, we have Dream, and Sherelle.
Yes.
Okay. Sherelle. And I thank you guys for coming on. It's such a blessing. I look forward to your endeavors, your future endeavors, and may the Lord bless you richly. And thank you for coming on to launch
Thank you
Jesus
so
Initiative.
much.
Thank you for having us.
us.
We appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I thank you guys for tuning in to Launch the Jesus Initiative. As always, I tell you guys to be engaged in the things of God, to be equipped in the things of God, and be excited about the things of God.
Amen.
And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, Dream.